Alright guys, this is the first job for the day. We got this panel here. I got a call a couple weeks ago for a breaker that kept tripping for their stove. Came to replace the breaker, and that's the breaker I replaced there. Eaton panel. When I open it up, all these square D breakers are in here, and the inside of this panel is just a mess. So let the customer know, just because square D breakers fit does not mean you can put square D breakers into an Eaton panel. You guys need to be making sure that you're reading the nameplate of the panel and putting the proper breakers in. Just because they fit doesn't mean they're fitting properly, and you can cause some serious damage or a fire. It's a tight space today. There's this trailer here that couldn't be moved, unfortunately. So I'm gonna get this thing opened up, get everything labeled. We'll shut it down, and I'll show you guys what the inside looks like here in a minute. Like I said, it's super tight, so this is gonna be interesting. Alright, take a look at the inside of this panel. Look at the mess of this panel. Pretty lazy work, if you ask me. So, not only are we gonna change these breakers out, but we're gonna get all this stuff labeled, unlanded, and get this panel cleaned up the best we can and get the proper breakers installed. And like I said, this is the breaker here that I replaced. I didn't have a lot of information on the panel at the time, but now that there's extra space, I'm going to get rid of that quad and separate these two breakers and go from there. Customers are here. They wanted to sleep through this, so I'm gonna shut this thing down. And got some weird looking wire in here too. We gotta figure out what the heck that stuff is. That could be another problem that we gotta look into here once we get dug in further. But let's go ahead and shed the load to this panel, and then we'll shut the main off. And this panel does have, or this home does have, solar, so I'll shut that off and get all these loads turned off. And then I'll kill the main. Now let's get this stuff labeled up. One thing I don't want to do is tear this thing apart and then spin my wheels on what was what. So we'll spend the time to get everything labeled properly. Make our life a lot easier at the end here. So I'm just gonna number this stuff 1 through whatever and note it down in a notebook. What numbers are on what breakers. And go from there. Literally have a white breaker or white wire landed on a breaker here. That's freaking nice. Look at that. No, that's not a GFCI breaker. So hopefully that's just wire netted to something else. I swear, people. Hire electricians, guys. Hire electricians. I think this panel was replaced when the solar people put the panel in, so it's not that surprising to me, unfortunately. 2. I'll have to make a note that that white wire was laying on a breaker. So number 1. Number 2. So, yep. Number 3 was a white on 20 amp. Take your time, guys, make notes. It may seem slower at first, but it's not. So I'm gonna get this thing all torn apart and labeled, and we'll come back and check it out. Check this out, guys. So like I said, this house has solar. I don't have access to the inverter right now, but the way inverters work, when they lose AC power, they shut down. But still gonna be careful here until I can get access to the inverter. But this breaker here was labeled solar, which is into Romex there. These set of wires here were labeled dryer, which are going into that 3/4 PVC back there. I have a slight feeling that this is supposed to be the solar here. And this Romex, it's like a 6.3. It's supposed to be going to the dryer, which is way overkill, but I have a feeling that even the solar guys got their stuff mislabeled. Yeah, they're the same ones that made up this panel. So any solar guys out there watching this that do decent work, you guys really need to get on those other solar guys. They're killing me. The amount of things that I see out there that these solar companies are doing that marketing themselves as electricians, and they're not. So yeah, I'm gonna continue tearing into this thing and get this figured out, and I'll come back and show you guys where I'm at. Hey guys, just wanted to give you an update where I'm at. I got everything labeled, pushed out of the way. It's a real pain in the ass with this trailer right here, but we'll make the best of it. Look at this mess of crap. Come on, you guys. This is ridiculous. That white wire that was landed on the breaker, it looks like it's going down this 1.5 inch with looks like a SPA circuit. And the weird thing is you got like a 6.2 feeding the SPA, so that's kind of interesting. I need to go check out that SPA installation, because I don't know how they would get that to work with the GFCI breaker, and I really hope that SPA is not hooked up to just a regular breaker. But this is what you get when you guys don't hire legit electricians that know what they're doing, and you go with the guy that said they could do it cheaper. This is cheaper right here. Is your life cheaper? Let's find out. Stay tuned. All right, we're back again. The more I touch, the more we just find. Someone tried splicing the Ufer ground, and just look at this crap, you guys. Hey, come on. And then you got this 12.2 goes in, no bushing. Like, Jesus Christ, guys. We'll be back. All right, we're back. I wasn't really expecting this many clips for such a simple thing, but man, it just gets worse and worse. So they had all these grounds landed on the big terminal here for the neutrals and grounds, and then these ones were short, so they just wrapped them around. And yeah, crazy. Probably, I wouldn't say the worst, but it's up there. And these guys, they just come in and low bid people and do work like this and leave, and blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. All right, guys, we're back. Got all the neutrals and grounds landed. Sorry for the tight space. I know it's hard to see. Those grounds that were short, I went ahead and added a ground bar and put a number 6 jumper between. Don't rely on the can for continuity, you guys. If that was to come off for whatever reason, you're gonna lose your neutrals and grounds. So make sure you guys spend extra time to do it right. Excuse me. And then what I found out is these wires that go down that PVC, there's actually a receptacle in the garage. It looks like they used the Future EV4, which I don't even think they're using that plug in there, but I'm gonna hook it back up. And then this Romex is for the solar. And then got that bushing on that 12.2 there. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. These wires were kind of strange at first. I'm like, what are these brown wires? But they must, over time, turn brown from black. I haven't really seen that happen. I've seen a lot of old stuff, but I haven't seen that brown wire like that. And then the SPA stuff, looks like they have a 240 volt circuit going out there with a 120 volt circuit. There's definitely not enough wiring going out there to have that properly GFI protected, so that's something I'm gonna have to look into when the homeowners are up and out and about. But I'm gonna keep going and get this thing wrapped up and definitely figure out that SPA. It's definitely not safe, so be back. All right, guys, we got everything wired up, landed, power back on, added a surge protector. I believe that was the old dryer. It must have switched to gas or something. This was capped off in there and had some tape on there. Almost looked like it said dryer, but I couldn't really tell. But yeah, got it all cleaned up, wired up. A lot better. Sorry the video's so close, but I got a trailer in my way. All good. I gotta check on that white wire that was landed, and then I need to check on the SPA. I'm gonna leave that off. Looks like that white wire goes in the same conduit as the SPA, and it was marked as backyard shed, so I'm gonna have to talk to the homeowner and get that fixed, and for sure that SPA, get that safely rewired and on a GFCI breaker at the SPA. Alright guys, that's a wrap. Got everything wired up, labeled, the correct breakers in the panel, got rid of the quad breaker. As a disclaimer, this channel is not a DIY channel. This is just to show a day by day of what I go through and find and things like that. So make sure you guys like and subscribe to see more. Thanks.